Tony Jones here from Metal Monkey Media, and I'm about to do something that I, in all honesty, never thought I would do. No, I'm not going to take my clothes off the internet. I'm pretty sure there'll be some videos of that somewhere. I'm going to do a book review. Okay, so the book we've got is the second edition of the Applied Ballistics for Long Range Shooting. Understanding the elements and application of external ballistics for successful long-range target shooting and hunting. It was by a guy named Brian Litz, who is actually a world champion long-range shooter in his own right and a ballistician for Berger bullets. So, about the author. Brian Litz earned his aerospace engineering degree from Pennsylvania State University in 2002. For the next 6 years, he worked for the US Air Force on air-to-air missile design, modelling and simulation. So the guy knows his shit about how to get stuff to go from A to B, obviously. In 2008, Brian became the chief ballistician for Berger bullets. Brian is also very active and successful long-range shooter, having run numerous regional, national, and international championships. So obviously, this is a man that is extremely fucking switched on, knows his shit, and has experience to back it up. Now, if you're like me, and I am a redneck electrician from Western Queensland now living in the city, a lot of this stuff's going to go straight over your head. There is a lot of interesting calculations in here, and believe me, I don't understand a lot of them. But there is also a lot of useful information. I do find, if you're anything like me, again, I do find the science of ballistics quite fascinating. You know, it's basically how to get a tiny piece of metal, in this case, to do what you want or predict where it's going to go. And this book goes a long way to explaining what actually happens once your bullet leaves the barrel. Now, to give you an idea of what we've got where are we? Pretty long introduction. Okie dokie, bear with me. Part 1 is the elements of exterior ballistics. So it goes through your fundamentals, your ballistic coefficient, which is your rating of your bullets, your gravity drop, uphill, downhill shooting, and believe me, it does make a difference. Wind deflection, gyroscopic drift, the Coriolis effect, which is actually the rotation of the Earth, using ballistics programs. Now, I actually use a ballistics program, and believe it or not, you can buy it for about $35 off the App Store. It's called iSnipe, and fuck me if it doesn't work. There are other apps out there, I can't think of many off the top of my head. However, I go with iSnipe. It's pretty simple to use. Their website does have some tutorials, and once you get your mind around that, it's not bad. I will do a review on it, so I won't get too in-depth now. It is a hardcover book, and it cost me about $75, okay? I got it from the Huntsman Firearms stand at SHOT Show last year, and like I said, a lot of this I don't understand. It's pretty heavy-duty maths, physics, scientific shit, but it's not a bad thing. Ballistic performance analysis, so interesting facts and trends, example performance analysis, generalized score shooting analysis, lethality of long-range hunting bullets, hit probability for hunting, properties of long-range bullets, anatomy of a bullet, monolithic bullets using experimental data. And then it goes into a listing of different bullet brands, okay, so not just Berger stuff, you've also got Sierras, Hornadys, Noslers, Lapurs, Cotarucios, in different colours, so everything from 223 right up to 338, okay. It doesn't do all your bullets, obviously, but there's something like 300, and it gives you, let me put it to you this way, you go to the 270 caliber section, and it's got ballistic coefficients for feet per second, all that sort of stuff. Really interesting. A lot of this I've still got to sit down and nut out, and I sort of pick it up every now and again, and I'll have a read through different sections. I've got to be honest, it's not a very scientific way to do it, but if you're into long-range shooting or getting into long-range shooting, or even just have some sort of interest in exterior ballistics and you want to know a little bit about what happens, this is probably not a bad place to start. It is heavy going in places, But I did get a lot out of it. I'm still getting a lot out of it, and it has helped improve my shooting. It has helped improve my analysis, which can be a big thing if you're working up loads for long-range hunting or target shooting. And I would highly recommend it. Like I said, the downside to it is some of it is pretty heavy on the brain. But even if you just borrowed a copy and glanced through it, that would be pretty interesting. You know, I think you might get something out of it if you were so inclined. It also comes with, and this is a really cool part, this little critter here, which is Applied Ballistics, which is Point Mass Ballistics Solver, version 2.0 by Brian Litz. So that's basically the shit, probably a light version actually, of what he would use in the burger factory. Now, bearing in mind that not everyone has a factory with a test ground and a Doppler radar, so that you can measure your velocities in increments out to 1,000 metres and further. But if you've ever used any ballistic software, it's basically punch your velocity and punch your ballistic coefficient in, your bullet weight and a few other variables, and you will get a firing solution. The one that I use, you can do it in 1 metre increments out to the gazoo, basically. And then print it, which I have done, and where are we? Here we go. Got my dope book. So I carry this when we go out shooting long-range tack matches. So this will basically give you, depending on what you want, firing solutions or rough firing solutions, depending on the data, because you've got to remember the solution you get out of your data is only as good as what you put into it. So, where are we? I've got 1/8 MOA target knobs on mine, and this is for a 308 Winchester. Basically 100 yard zero, and I've got that out to 625 yards. You can also do that in meters too, by the way. It's interesting. It is really interesting. So I started working my drops up for a load. That's probably going to have to change, but out to 100 and 200 metres you got zero, basically dead hold. At 300 metres you're looking at winding up 3.5. At 400, 5.4. At 500, 8 MOA, and I've still got to go out to 1,000 metres. So that'll give me a rough starting point for most of what I want to do, which is pretty cool. Anyways, back to the book. Interesting read in places. Will put you to sleep in others, and I really don't know. If anyone knows how to flip this shit, I'd really appreciate some editing advice. So, is it worth buying? Depending on how far down your shooting journey you are and how interested you are in ballistic science, I think it is. If you don't want to buy a copy, I'm sure there's a copy in a library somewhere, or one of your friends may very well have one. It's not a cheap thing, but it is worth having a look at, even if you just read a couple of places that interest you and try and get something out of it. Anyways, that is my book review for tonight. Thank you for watching. Very highbrow. And my name's Tony Jones. This has been a Metal Monkey Media production. And if you can, get a copy of Applied Ballistics for Long Range Shooting. Heavy going, quite thick, but it does have a lot, you can't even see that, a lot of interesting information. I'm talking like most of that is for different bullet weights, different bullets. It explains a lot of stuff that I had a vague idea about, but I didn't have a very good idea about, and it does it in great clarity with not so many big words that I can't understand. Righto, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2.